raise your legal defenses during the cross-examination of the cop. Make him specifically answer whether or not he believes it's reasonable. For example, I've actually questioned officers about the necessity defense, where someone's in a rush to take someone on a medical emergency to somewhere, or maybe there's someone that they believe is in labor, about to have a child, about to have a baby. And I've had officers actually say, well, yes, they did technically violate the law. They were speeding. They did do something improper. They did run that red light. And I'll ask the officer, but would you agree with me that it might be justified here to prevent the greater harm of the childbirth taking place in the car, or maybe someone having a medical emergency and dying? Couple that with hospital intake papers and maybe you actually testifying that you get up there and admit the only reason I did this was for this purpose. It actually shifts the burden back onto the state to prove that you didn't act with necessity. So it's an example of using this, and it's very important. Another example I'm going to show real quick is sometimes you maybe swerve outside of a lane. Maybe you cross a lane divider, which technically is a traffic violation, but you did so in order to avoid another person that you believe was about to run into you. These are just a few examples of affirmative defenses that you could use if it applies in your situation to win your case. But remember, at the end of the day, you emphasize the burden of proof. Officers tend to get lazy. They tend to not be detailed when it comes to citations, and you don't have to prove anything. The state must always prove the case beyond a reasonable doubt, and you have the burden in your favor, and it's important to remember that. So every hole that you can poke, every legal loophole you can provide, provides a way for you to not have to pay for another traffic ticket again.